I think let's just backtrack a little bit at a grocery store issue. Every model that's been looked at, even if no rent was charged, even the city's projections, the city's evaluation of it, any grocery store that's coming to Highland Square, from everything we're evaluating right now this could change depending on, perhaps there's increased pocketbook demand here. There's obviously a lot of demand as far as the community is behind it, but as far as actual dollar demand, right now, the way it stands, it looks like as if any grocery store here is going to have to be subsidized in some way by the city or someone else. It's not necessarily a profitable endeavor that someone's working on here if they're opening up a grocery store in Highland Square. Well,
I mean, Albrecht Inc certainly wasn't subsidizing him.
Well, and the Star Market, Sparkle Market did have a very difficult financial time. We again don't want to talk about the personal financial struggles that store had. And they did decide to close the store on their own, writing a letter to Albrecht Incorporated, respectfully saying that they were going to close their doors and thanking Albrecht Incorporated for all their help over the years. So there are some real issues involved in whether a grocery store is viable. The market studies are suggesting it's not. The feedback we're getting from this room is saying that maybe there is enough demand, but a lot of other financial indicators are suggesting otherwise. So the question would be, if it does have to be subsidized by someone, it could be maybe a pool of community investors or the city or someone. If it is the city, is that the kind of use for taxpayer dollars?
Yes.
And you might think it is, but other people might think it's not, and so that's another question to be thought about by the community. And on the same line, if taxpayer dollars are available for Highland Square, would people be more interested in having a Cedar Lee type theater or a small business incubator or a bike path or something else? So there's a limited pool of resources. All of the studies and financial indicators, other than
We want
feedback
groceries
from
and
the
be
store.
healthy.
Grocery store.
We have to be healthy. We're gonna all be sick.
Okay.
Who cares about fighting?
the reality is it would need to be subsidized like in some way. That is the economic reality.
Ridiculous.
And so we need to deal with that reality in terms of thinking through what needs to come here.
Okay, this gentleman here has some comments.
A few questions.
Yep.
So tell me about these studies that were conducted. What party instigated them? What is it?
The city has done a study, has done a market study. We also, Albrecht Inc. also worked with Freshway to evaluate demand and different sales point levels and what the projected, profit might be. We did it in models of, well, I don't know that we can.
Our market study was developed in conjunction with the Foudies, and it still seems like the Foudies are interested in potentially going in, so that's not something that I'd really be comfortable sharing right off the
We're the
bat.
Foudies.
Because it seems like that's the most valuable thing right now is true market studies. If that would benefit you, it would be something that people can work on. Because you keep asking these people, obviously they want a grocery store.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that.
You need something concrete.
Right. For us, it seems like there's a disconnect between the community that says that they really need it and really want it. We hear that registers, we understand that. But the studies that we've done and the pro formas that we've put together don't show the dollar demand that would support an operator taking on the risk.
Then you need a
operating
subsidy.
the risk of opening. So that's where we are.
One thing, if you're
subsidize
not
it.
reaching far enough, I think you maybe could find Highland Square as a smaller area than perhaps is really represented in this room. Because I'm across Merriman Road, I don't count as Highland Square,
Yes, you do.
but I walk 3 blocks and I'm here. So technically I'm not in the Highland Square district. Nobody's ever asked me in a study,
I think there were different
So-
approaches to it, and I think, I don't, correct me if I'm misstating, but I think perhaps one of the studies actually evaluated the sales at the Sparkle Market and evaluated what was there and what was going on. And so that's one piece of it. I think the city's done a separate study as to what the demographics are, what the income levels, what people's frequency of shopping, that sort of thing. And so there's been different studies done at different points from different points of view. So just, what I'm saying to you is, because you haven't been contacted, I'm not necessarily, I don't know that.
I'm just saying it's a wider area that perhaps has been looked at.
That's a good point.
Did
figures based on our best estimate of what
But not
the stores
from
were doing
here.
in conjunction with the Foudies and what their input was.
And the Foudies are fresh way.
That ain't what she asked.
Did the Henretta family that owned that grocery store give you their figures that they were losing money and that this was not a good thing for them, or were they being forced down by Albrecht?
No,
No, they were
absolutely not. Albrecht Incorporated did not force the Henrettas out. We got a letter from Beth August 1st, 2005, saying that she regretted to inform us that she was going to close her doors, thanking us for the years that she was there and the help that we'd given her, and saying that it had been a pleasure to work with us. And we definitely echo those sentiments. We never forced Star Market out of business.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a long-time resident, but I think people who live here a couple months are have just as valued opinions. Today I walked over to that little Highland pharmacy to fill my prescription, and then I saw little ballerinas going up to Martell, so I went up there to ask if my niece could take ballet. And I'm concerned about that side of the street because I passed Summit Taylor today, and my heart sank when I saw that they've gone out of business. I mean, I came here when I was 2 years old. I used to go to the bakery to get cookies when I was little. I went to the Planet of the Apes festival in the 70s at the Highland Theater. I do not want to see the Highland Theater go down, and I don't want to see that side of the street go down because I fear Wallhaven. I like Robex down there, but I cannot walk down there. Even when I park my car and try to walk around, I feel so alienating in that neighborhood, and I fear we will become something like that if the old side of the street becomes too much like the new. And I like some of the businesses that you guys have brought in, but I'm afraid that there's this little bit of mistrust that somebody's trying to push out some of those old-timey businesses to make them more commercial or more chain-like or more what somebody thinks is going to be more profitable.
Summit Tailoring it was not forced out. Those businesses have their own financial situations. It is difficult, extremely difficult to operate a small shop like that, especially when the majority of traffic is foot traffic. Winter, rain, all of those factors affect the viability of the business, and everybody is concerned about that. And as a community and as a greater Akron area, we all should be concerned about the viability of these smaller businesses. And I think the question is, what do we do to help them? Is there a way to create, more parking in Highland Square so that people can come here and walk around at those shops? Is there a way to make that area viable and still preserve that feeling of community? Because that's what I'm sensing is important, is the feeling of community. So the question is, how do we preserve that while making sure that these businesses don't go out of business because of the financial realities?
Jim has had his hand up a long time.
Right. We are trying to make sure that we hear from everyone, and this young lady.
Kick Bob first. He's had his hand up.
Yeah, he's had his hand up, right.
Well, I've been a business owner in the last 16 years here. I can guarantee you with a perfect view of a Star Market, more than one line has been sold. I've seen the people in and out of there.
Yeah.
Thinking about the box, regardless of what the people want, if it is going to be subsidized in some way, whether it be a co-op or another business that's been attracted to the area, the size or configuration of that should not be important. If it is a community, they should be able to adjust to the community rather than sit there and dictate the size and the structure as a matter of semantics. Aside from that, it would be great to see everything. As far as parking, I can guarantee you my shop, people will park illegally, walk in 5 feet. If they make parking available 3 blocks down, they're not going to walk to it. So it may not be that important to attract more parking as much as business and to keep as much of the community we already have going while complementing it with the areas that we have available to us.
Absolutely. And I think that's the question, is how do